Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello everyone, my name is Ihsan Solihin. This is a presentation video of research proposal entitled Technology for Assessing Language Learning in the Context of Indonesian ELT. This presentation covers four main sections. The first one is introduction, covering background of the study and the related literature. The second one is the objectives of the study. The third one is the significance of this study. And the last one is the research methods, include the sample or sampling method, as well as the data collection techniques, which are observation, questionnaire, and interview. Let's start with the first section, which is introduction. An essential theme which will underpin this study is the concept of assessment in ELT. Assessment in ELT needs to be conducted to evaluate the learning process through administering the test. And aspects that need to be assessed in ELT should concern the new paradigm in EFL teaching, which comprises focus on communication, integrated skills, learner-centered, emphasis on procedure or process, and the last one is conducting tests for the sake of teaching. And in the notion of assessment, there are characteristics of assessment, and these include the informal and formal assessment, formative and summative assessment, non-reference and criterion reference assessment, and the assessment is administered based on its needs. For example, assessment is conducted as the achievement test, diagnostic test, placement test, proficiency test, and the last one is the placement test. Then, on the implementation, the assessment needs to consider its principles, and they include its practicality, its reliability, its validity, its authenticity, and the last one, the assessment needs to reflect how the actual teaching is being conducted as the washback. Then, moving on to the current setting or current situation of the assessment. So the current situation forces the ELT process includes the assessment part to be conducted remotely and digitally with the help of the ICT. Focusing on the assessment, the development of ICT provides the teacher with various and useful platforms to assess the ELT. Edmodo, Zoom Meeting, Padlet, and Google Form are the examples of the online learning platforms that are familiar to Indonesian English teachers. However, on its implementation, there are issues found in integrating ICT into the ELT assessment. For example, this proposal cites findings from Champa et al., which its studies conducted in 2019. In Indonesian context, ICT is generally still an exclusive matter for Indonesian people. The rapid change of technology development makes the teacher hard to keep up. Then trying to narrow down the condition, there are two major factors. The first one is technical, which comprises the problem in accessing the devices and internet connection, and the second one is personal. It is said that both teachers and students are lack of competence in operating this platform, as well as they conduct the misuse of the software. Then, moving on to the next section, which is the objectives of the study. This study is designed to seek the answers for this question. This is the first one. How can the teachers utilize the technology to assess language learning? And the second one, what are the teachers' and students' perception toward the use of technology for assessing the language learning? So, hopefully, this research will portray the implementation of ELT assessment using technology for the current condition, as well as how the English language teaching could perceive the use of technology in the assessment. Next one, I will discuss the significance of conducting this study. There are reasons and outcomes from conducting the study. I, who will become the researcher, believe that conducting this study is important because it is contemporary and occurring issue, and it can provide useful data for the English teachers in Indonesia to conduct assessment in ELT. The third one, it could help the ICT developer that concerns with educational platform in the current condition. And the last one, for the biggest part, it could provide the description of the current condition with regards to the ELT assessment that can be used as consideration for the policymaker. For example, our government, the educational institutions like schools or universities, as well as the ELT practitioners. Now we are arriving at the last section of this presentation, which is the research methods. It comprises the sampling method, as well as the data collection techniques through the observation, questionnaire, and the interview. For the sample, this research is designed to use random sampling method. I believe that random sampling method is practical, it's easy, it's simple, and the most important thing, random sampling method can be used to reduce the bias. Then 40 English teachers and students from level of primary school, junior high school, and senior high school and university will be involved as participants in this research. Moving on to the data collection techniques, as what has been mentioned before, this research will employ observation, questionnaire, and interview. Using Google Form and a video conference platform or a phone call, a questionnaire will be administered and an interview will be conducted online to keep everyone safe concerning our current condition. In detail, the observation, as mentioned before, will be conducted from the recorded session. So this research will ask the teacher as participant or the lecturer to record a session, and the observer will observe the situation. And the aspect that will be observed include the practicality, the reliability, validity, authenticity, and the washback, as well as the principle in implementing the assessment in ELT, which are focused on communication, integrated skills, learner-centered, emphasis on procedures and process, and conducting tests for the sake of teaching. Moving on to the questionnaire, it will also be conducted online through Google Form and direct poll for both teachers and students. However, there will be different key points in the questionnaire for teachers and students. For the teachers, the questionnaire will focus on investigating the practicality, reliability, validity, authenticity, and the washback or the reflection, as well as the principle of the ELT assessment. Then for the students, the questionnaire will only focus on three main points, which are the practicality, authenticity, and the washback. And this is the draft of questionnaire that will be administered for the teachers and lecturers. As you can see here, this questionnaire is formed into three main parts. Part A, concerning the general information of the online teaching platform familiarity, which are designed in the open-ended question platform. And Part B, concerning the specific information of the online teaching platform characteristics, as well as Part C, concerning specific information of the online assessment platform characteristic, are designed using Likert scale. Means that the teacher or lecturers as the participant will only be required to respond those statements using this parameter. And similar to this is the draft of questionnaire that will be administered for the students. It's still the same, using the open-ended question and the Likert scale. However, it only consists of two main parts. Then it still refers to the framework that has been discussed before. This is the last technique that this research will use to collect the data, which is the interview. It will be conducted online through video conference platforms such as Zoom meeting or Google Meet or even a WhatsApp video conference or a phone call to both teachers and students. And for the framework, the interview still use the same and consistent aspects that already discussed before. I think that's all for the presentation. This is the end, and thank you very much. Anyway, please put the comment, question, or suggestions as responses for my proposal on the Qualitative Data Analysis Google Classroom, or you can chat me personally through WhatsApp. Thank you. I'm signing out. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.